viewers, welcome back to the Moose Mobile Auto Repair channel. And today I have a 2013 Honda CRV, and it has a 2.4 liter engine. And today we are going to be replacing the drive belt. Now this drive belt is the original belt on this vehicle. It's approximately 10 years old, and the ribs are worn out, and it has a little bit of cracking on it. So I'm going to show you on how to replace it today. Now the first thing I would like to do is to get the coolant reservoir tank out of the way. So in order to get this out of the way, you just need to pull upwards, just to give yourself some more room here, and just put it aside. I put the reservoir tank aside. I just put it on top of here on the intake manifold. So make sure that you draw the belt routing diagram before you remove the old belt. So I'm using a special tool. This is a 14 millimeter. So push towards the front of the vehicle, and relieve the tension, and remove the belt. And slowly release it. So remove the belt. So remove the belt now. Now you could see some pinhole cracks in between the ribs, some cracking, and you can see how worn out the belt is from in between the ribs. You can see the pinhole cracks here in between the ribs. There's some abrasion on the smooth side of the belt. It's probably a bit hard to see it on camera. So these are EPDM belts. They're made out of synthetic rubber, so they won't show cracking as easily as the neoprene belts. So they're very hard to really inspect 100%, because these belts are trickier to inspect than the neoprene belts, because they don't crack as much. So anyhow, they do have a special tool, either from Dayco or from Gates. You'd be able to check the wear in between the ribs. And so if this tool sits flush inside, as in when you try to put the tool inside the ribs, if you are not able to feel it with your fingers, it means that the belt is worn out. It's sitting, the plastic is sitting flush inside the rib. So if you can't feel that you can't feel the plastic, then it means that the ribs are worn out. So we just check each individual one. So we can see that this is sitting deep inside the groove or the ribs, so it's worn out. You can see on the side here, you can see some cracking, it's glazed, and also on the edges here, it's all worn out on the edge. You can see the cracking, the small cracks. It might be hard to see that on camera. See that the ribs are worn out. They wear down just like tires, the same exact way. So anyhow, now is a good time to inspect all of the pulleys for any wear or noise. You can spin the pulleys by hand, manually. I noticed that the tensioner is very noisy. The bearing is very noisy. I'll try that again. You can try to spin the water pump as well, AC compressor, alternator. Just make sure you check all the pulleys. Now, typically you're supposed to replace the tensioner and all of the idlers at the same time, but I don't think the customer wants to do it right now. But I'm going to let them know about this and see if they want to do it. So now I'm just down here at the passenger side wheel. I'm just going to remove the plastic cover here. It's held down by some clips. Get this out of the way. You can use a bungee cord to tie this down. So you have access now to where the crank pulley is. If you want, you can remove the wheel, if you want to to make some more room. It's up to you. Now I'm using a special tool which is specifically designed for Hondas. It's by Asen Macker, AST. Part number is HON 1419, HON 1419. I think it may be available either on Amazon or off of eBay or something. So it makes it easier because these Honda tensioners are extremely strong. So you need a lot of force in order to relieve the tension. So I bought this tool some years ago, and believe me, it makes life a million times easier than using a regular like ratchet or a long wrench or a breaker bar of some sort. It's angled in such a way that it makes it easy to replace the drive belt on these Honda vehicles. The neighbor's cat snuck outside again, unfortunately, and it's extremely cold. It's extremely cold today, so this cat should not be outside. So now I have the new belt. I'm using the Continental one. Here's the part number. And just make sure you check the old belt and the new belt to make sure it's the same length. Just make sure it's the same length. So we are going to proceed to install the new belt. I'm going to start on the crankshaft first. It's going to be a little bit hard to show you guys, so I'm using a special tool to to grab the belt. So right now I started the belt at the crank, and then to the AC compressor, and then from underneath, in between the water pump. It's really hard to get to at the water pump because the pulley is sticking out a little bit against the frame. So it's really hard to see on camera. So I'm routing the belt now. So it's really going to be hard to show you guys all of this. So once you have routed everything, you're ready to install the new belt. What you need to do is to pull up on the belt here, and we are gonna try to install it on the idler last, because that's probably easier to do. So make sure everything is routed properly before you do this, and insert the tool. Insert the tool and pull towards you and try to install the belt if you're able to. I'm gonna try that first. I don't know if it's gonna work, but we'll see. And usually it's better to install it on the smooth pulley last, because that's usually easier. I don't think this is gonna work this way. What I'm gonna do is, hold on a second. Let's see. Could put it in between like this. Oh, that's gonna work. Let's see. I remember when I used to do these belts, I used to do them really quickly, and I used to install it on the crank pulley last, but that was the hardest. That was very hard to do. So just trying to see, because there's you can't have the tool in the way when you're installing it on the pulley. So we're going to try it again. Pain in the butt, but you kind of have to work both the idler and on the tensioner pulley at the same time to get this belt on. Then you would be able to get it in. At the same time, you need to work it on both of the pulleys. That's how I'm getting it in at the moment. You can see that right now. Make sure it's on. Make sure everything is on all of the pulleys. Earlier, the belt was not on the AC pulley all the way. That's why it was not going in. Slowly release the tension and double check your work. Make sure it's on the pulleys properly. Make sure that the belt is lined up properly and that it's not riding on the edges, otherwise it's going to damage the new belt. And I notice there's a little bit of an oil leak back here. So now we are going to start the engine and just verify everything. So once you're done everything, you can reinstall the coolant reservoir tank. then you should be all good to go. Reinstall the clips. So I know you just heard the noise. I just did the oil change, so that was the first startup, and so it was making a little bit of noise, and I can hear the noise that's coming from the tensioner as well. So anyhow, I notified the customer about the rest of the stuff. They are probably going to do the rest of the stuff, the tensioner, the idler, and there's a bunch of other things that need to get done on this vehicle. So we are possibly going to be doing the rest of the repairs maybe in the spring or in the summertime when the weather is better. Today the weather is not all that great. It's a little bit cold, like -3 or -4, so it's very uncomfortable. But anyhow, the drive belt is done. That's everything. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know. That's it for today. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please give it a like, and please subscribe to my channel if you're not already a subscriber, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a good day and take care.